Hello, my friends. My name is Dana. I am the only one in my family, and my father has passed away. Today, I will tell you a story that I never expected to happen to me. It all started when I was 11 years old and wasn't in school due to our very difficult circumstances. However, my mother used to make me sit with our neighbor sometimes to teach me how to read and write. One day, while I was sitting in my room as usual in front of the balcony, I saw my friend and neighbor Emma playing on the street below our house. She gestured to me and said, "Come and play with me." My mom won't agree. Try to persuade her. Maybe she'll agree this time. We'll only play for half an hour. Okay, I'll try. I'll be waiting for you. I went to my mother, who was in the kitchen, and said, "Do you need help, Mom?" "Thank you, my dear. I'm almost done. Can I ask you a small favor?" "Of course, dear. But promise me you won't refuse again, please. I need to know what the request is first, then I'll decide. I want to play with Emma, my friend, in the street for only half an hour. You know that it's not appropriate for a girl to play on the street like boys. Ask Emma to come up and play with you here." "But we're sitting here bored and we don't have any games to play." "Dana, didn't we agree before that this is not up for discussion? Do you want to make me angry?" "Of course not, Mom. That's my beautiful daughter. Now go play on your phone if Emma refuses to come." "Okay." I went back to my room and stood on the balcony saying to Emma, "As I expected, my mom refused as usual and told me to ask you to come up and play here. But playing here is much better. I don't know why your mother insists that you stay at home all the time. I don't know. I tried to convince her, but she didn't agree, so I didn't want to make her angry." "Okay, I'll come up to sit with you later. I'll be waiting for you." Several days passed in the same situation. One day, I discovered that the bread had run out, and I ran quickly to my mother, who came up with an idea. "Mom, we ran out of bread." "Okay, I'll call Daniel, your cousin's son, to buy it for us. But I want to go now to buy it myself because I'm hungry." "My dear, why should you tire yourself when your cousin's son, may Allah bless him, buys what we need for us? I'll ask him to bring it quickly." "I'm not tiring myself. Maybe he's busy and I haven't left the house since the last time you took me to the doctor." "I told you before that I worry about you a lot, Dana, and that you are my only daughter whom I cannot imagine anything happening to or being away from me. But I will not go far. I will buy it and come back quickly, I swear to you. The discussion is over. Go to your room now, Dana." "Okay, Mom." I returned to my room, sad, but I couldn't object. One day, as I sat as usual in front of the balcony, my favorite doll fell from me, and my mother was in the kitchen. I ran eagerly without thinking to get my doll, but as soon as I opened the door, I heard my mother's voice, rushing and calling me. "Dana?" "Yes, Mom?" My mother said angrily. "Where are you going like this alone and without telling me?" "My doll fell from me unintentionally. I was going to get it." "Without telling me like this? Didn't I tell you before that you cannot go out alone, no matter what the reason is?" "But this is my favorite doll. I was afraid someone from the street would take it." "Let them take it then. That's not the dangerous reason that makes you disobey my orders. Go back to your room immediately." "But Mom, my doll, I will bring it quickly and come back." "Go back to your room. As a punishment for your recklessness, you will not take it again, and no one will bring it to you." I surrendered and returned to my room, crying for the loss of my favorite doll. Days passed, and the day came when my life changed. My mother had gone to visit our neighbor, and today was the 3rd birthday of our friend Georgina. I sat in my room, sad, until an idea jumped into my mind, sneaking out of the house and taking advantage of my mother's absence. I actually sneaked out of the house carefully and ran quickly towards my friend Georgina's house, who lived in the adjacent street. But while running, I did not notice the approaching car that hit me hard until I lost consciousness. I woke up in the hospital, and my mother was beside me, saying anxiously, "Thank God for your safety, my dear. How do you feel?" "I feel pain in my foot." "The pain reliever will make the pain go away soon, don't worry." "Okay, but why do I see everything dark around me, Mom? And what is this thing on my eyes?" "God has tested you with a strong affliction to test your patience, my dear." "What do you mean?" "Unfortunately, you have lost your sight because the accident was severe, and they put a screen and cover on your eyes to protect them." "What? How did this happen? Will I not see again?" We ask God to heal you, my dear, and not to despair of the mercy of God, but you are the one who went to disaster with your foot. Why did you leave the house while I was away? Why did you disobey my orders? Did you see what I was trying to protect you from? Do you understand now why I refused your going out alone except with me and in necessary situations? Yes, Mom. I understand. I apologize to you so much. I didn't realize that something like this could really happen. It's okay, my dear. I will take care of you, and you will be fine, God willing. Years passed until I was 20 years old, and I surrendered to my new situation and was forced to always sit at home. I couldn't move in the house alone without difficulty. My friend Emma came to visit me at home as usual. She started talking to me excitedly. I brought you a very beautiful book to read. I replied sarcastically, How will I read it? That's what's special about it. It's in Braille so you can read it. But I don't know that method. Where have I gone? What will you do? I'll open online videos for you daily and help you learn from them, and you'll learn it quickly. Really? Of course, my dear, and this way you'll enjoy reading, which is very enjoyable, and you'll get rid of the boredom caused by sitting on your phone too much. I don't know what I would have done without you, Emma. You wouldn't have done anything. You would have found another friend for yourself. But she won't be like you for sure. God forbid I lose you. Nor will I lose you, my dear. Other days passed, and one day I sat feeling suffocated from sitting constantly in my room, despite Emma's attempts to relieve me. So I rashly decided to leave the house while my mother was in a deep sleep, but I started removing that cover from my eyes so people wouldn't be alarmed by me. But the surprise was when I was able to see everything in front of me. Then hurriedly called my friend Emma while crying, I can see, Emma. What do you see? I see everything clearly. Really? Are you kidding me? How did that happen suddenly? I don't know. When I removed that cover from my eyes, I discovered that I see everything. Has God finally granted you healing? I don't know, but the doctor in the last visit did not renew his hope, and his talk was as it is that the eye had atrophy, and the possibility of my vision returning is very slim. I don't understand anything, Dana. How can you suddenly see like this? Does it make sense that you didn't lose your sight from the beginning? Or is that doctor's diagnosis wrong? I don't know, and I can't determine anything, but I need to know if my mother really did this to me. I can't believe she could do that. Neither can I. Why would she do that? But I need to know if the doctor misdiagnosed me or not. How will you find out? I'm going to the hospital tomorrow to confirm. But what about your mother? She's going to visit one of our relatives tomorrow. I'll take advantage of that time to go. I wanted to come with you, but you know I'm traveling, unfortunately. But I'll follow up with you over the phone. I know, my dear. Okay. Indeed, the next day I left the house, going to the hospital. The next day I left the house heading towards the hospital as described online, but I entered several similar streets and did not even know how to get back, so I started crying. A police officer passing by asked me, What's wrong? Why are you crying? I'm lost and don't know how to get back home. How do you not know how to get back? Where do you live? I told him the address and told him that this was the first time I would go to the street alone. Where were you going, and why did you go out alone if you don't know the way? I started telling him my whole story and everything that had happened to me and what I had discovered. Okay, come with me. We'll go to the hospital to verify the previous doctor's diagnosis. Then we'll go to the police station and investigate your mother if you want. Then I'll take you back home. How will this investigation help? Maybe you can find out the reason why she did that all that time. Okay. And indeed, I went with him to the hospital, and after the examination of my eyes, the doctor said to me, Are you sure that a doctor told you that your eyes had atrophy? Yes, I'm sure. Impossible. This is not a misdiagnosis because there is nothing wrong with your eyes that would even raise doubts about the possibility of atrophy. Does that mean he was lying? I'm sorry to say this, but yes. The police officer said, I expected that. Thank you, doctor. And he said to me, Come on, my dear. We'll find out everything in a moment. And indeed, he took me to the police station and did the investigations he had mentioned. I know what I'm about to tell you may be shocking to you, but this is the truth that shocked me too. What happened? The woman who raised you is not your real mother. What are you saying? That's impossible. Calm down. I just found out from the area where she used to live that she was sterile and could not have children. Then she suddenly moved to the area where you currently live and you were with her. I felt a severe shock and kept repeating, "How is this possible? There must be something wrong. She's my mother, I'm sure." I appreciate your shock, my dear, but unfortunately these investigations cannot be wrong. Do you know who my real family is? No, we haven't found out yet, unfortunately. What should I do then? We'll call that woman now and find out everything. And indeed, after a short period of time, my mother was summoned to the police station and was shocked when she saw my eyes without the cover and realized that I had discovered the lie. "Dana, how did you know? Why did you do this to me? Why did you lie to me about everything all these years?" "I didn't lie about anything, Dana. We know everything now and that you are not her real mother. It's better for you to tell us the truth so that you are not charged with kidnapping." "What kidnapping? I didn't kidnap her, of course, and I'm not a criminal." "Then why did you lie to her all these years and tell her that you were her mother and who her real family is?" "Believe me, officer, I don't know anything about her past. I found her near the old house I used to live in. I took her to my house and waited for someone to ask about her, but no one did. So I decided to keep her with me and raise her, especially since I couldn't have children. I changed my house and lived in another one. I was careful not to let her leave the house, fearing that someone would recognize her and take her away from me after I got used to having her, and she became my daughter whom I didn't give birth to. And when she went out alone without my knowledge, my fear increased. So I decided to lie to her and tell her that she had lost her sight so that she wouldn't think about going out again without my knowledge. I swear this is what happened, and I had no other intention. Well, we will look for her real family, but if your story turns out to be false, your situation will be bad. I'm telling you that now. Okay, officer, you will know that everything I said is true. I got up while crying and hugged my mother, saying, "You didn't have to do that. I also loved you so much, and I didn't know any other mother, and I wouldn't leave you even if I knew who my real family was. I apologize, my love. I am so sorry. I know I was bad and hurt you without meaning to, but it was because of my excessive love and attachment to you. I swear to you." Days passed, and the police could not find my family. I felt like they had abandoned me on purpose and that no one had kidnapped me from them. So I decided to continue my life here with my mother who raised me, took care of me more than anyone, and loved me sincerely. And here ends my story, my friends. Goodbye.